Hi guys, it is Wednesday, March 16th, and we're here for our usual appointment, our Wednesday appointment at noon. Thank you so much for joining our Noonday Inspiration. And as we allow our friends to check in, I'm just asking you to say, how are you? What's going on in your parts of the world? Physically, what's going on in your parts of the world? Personally, what's going on in your parts of the world? Professionally? Just check in and talk so we can know what's going on. We're here in Kingston, Jamaica. And we are feeling the effects and the experiences of all that's going on. We know that even as we sit here in fairly peaceful environs, there are persons, other places in the world who are experiencing unpeaceful situations, conflict. And so we're just knowing that right where they are, that love still is, and that God still is, and that presence and power of God can be revealed, and peace can be restored, so that families and everyone there can continue to experience God's love and life as God intended it. We pray for their strength. This month we're talking about the faculty of strength that each of us as individuals have. This faculty physically is located in the lower back, associated with the disciple Andrew, and the color green. And so we're calling for that strength for you wherever you are, as you experience life, however you're experiencing it. And we're calling for that strength for the persons who are experiencing warlike situations, conflict of any kind. We're knowing that God's strength is now awakened in them as they navigate this time and this experience. Our writer for this month is Shakira Taylor out of our sister church in Miami Gardens, Florida, Universal Truth Center. We're blessing her for her writings. And today she's talking about relying on the power and presence of God inside of you. You know, we're in an era where social media is so dominant. Social media is everything. I mean, there's a time when we were all locked in as a result of the pandemic, and so we had to rely on making contact via social media. And so sometimes even social media can seem to become the master of information, but we know all information on social media is not necessarily true. And so she's encouraging us that you must, instead of looking for a guru for everything, you must go to the power and presence of God inside of you. That one guru, that's all-knowing, that's all-powerful, that's all-present energy of God is where you should go to for your instructions and information. And let that power and presence direct and guide you to where you're supposed to go, as opposed to relying on everybody and every guru from outside. You know, as I watch TV sometimes here locally, especially late in the nights, there'll be all of these advertisements about, you know, palm readers and these spiritual healers. And this is not to discount or to discredit anybody at all. But when you know that within you is wrapped up all the power and presence that there is, then you begin to rely solely on that and not on somebody from outside directing you and telling you what to do, unless the power and presence of God directs you to that person or to that place. And so today we're going to learn how to tap in, how to touch, how to connect with, how to listen for that still small voice as we move through our life world experience. Magnify the Lord with me. exalt God's name and keep our attention focused there. Come on.
I sought the Lord, and He answered me and delivered me from every fear. Those who look on Him are radiant. They'll never be ashamed. They'll never be ashamed. This poor man cried, and the Lord heard me and saved me from my enemies. The Son of God surround His saints. He will deliver them. He will deliver them. Magnify the Lord with me. Come exalt His name together. Glorify the Lord with me. Come exalt His name forever. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Oh, blessed is He, yeah, who hides in Him. Oh, fear the Lord. Oh, all you saints, give you everything. He'll give you everything. Magnify the Lord with me. Come exalt His name together. Glorify the Lord with me. Come exalt His name forever. Let us bless the Lord every day and night. Never-ending praise. May our praises rise. Let us bless the Lord every day and night. Never-ending praise. May our praises rise. Let us bless the Lord every day and night. Never-ending praise. May our praises rise. Let us bless the Lord every day and night. Never-ending praise. May our praises rise. Magnify the Lord with me. Come exalt His name together. Glorify the Lord with me. Come exalt His name forever.
So let's keep this music going as we just take a moment to magnify the Lord. And let us bring into this moment all that concerns us. Let us bring into this consciousness this Christ consciousness, the people of Ukraine and all its neighbors, the people of Russia and all its neighbors, the people of the United States and all its neighbors, the people of Jamaica and all its neighbors, the people of the UK, Europe, Africa, Asia, and all its people. And let's just know for them what we know for ourselves. That God is still being God in the midst of everything that is happening. Magnify the Lord with me. God is still being God. And our job is to keep our eyes focused on God. Even in the midst of what seems to be war, even in the midst of what seems to be dis-ease, even in the midst of what seems to be death or loss of life, even in the midst of what seems to be lack of any kind, keep focused on God. Keep calling forth the name of God. Keep calling forth the good in the situation. And as you keep calling forth the good in the situation, good appears or is apparent to you because that is where your attention is focused. And all that is unlike the power and presence of God must fade away. Who among us will stand in that consciousness of God the good, will magnify the Lord? Who among us will refuse to be swayed by outer appearances, but to judge a right judgment? Who among us will remember that the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof? Who among us will remember that, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, because thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Magnify the Lord with me. And just stay in this space. Stay in this space. Stay in this space. That's what today's writing is about. Stay in this God space. Let everything around you, let everything that hath breath praise the Lord. Let everything that hath breath bless the Lord. And just stay in this space of blessing. Stay in this space of peace. Stay in this space of love. Just stay in this space. All right, to Shakira says today that there are too many gurus. She says, be careful of who and what you listen to. Self-proclaimed influencers and experts are on the rise. Many people are too quick to drop the teachings of the ages for photoshopped images on social media. People tell the story of what they want you to see. Listen, Spirituality is not about what you know. It is about growing, deepening, evolving, and becoming a living reflection of your spiritual identity. The self-discovery process is neither comfortable nor glamorous. It is not paved with gold, but rather with stretch marks that reveal scars, pain, and healing. Own your process. Stop comparing yourself to others. Let go of the need to be seen for the outer work. Focus on your inner relationship with God. Remember, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. May you recognize the teachers and the lessons that are sent to you to help you grow and evolve. The knowledge you need is already within you, seeking an open channel. So stay connected to your greatest teacher, the presence and power of God within you. She's inviting us to rely on our own inner strength. You know, things happen. Things are always happening. We live in a society where every day there's something happening. And your strength, your courage, your level of maturity spiritually is determined by how you respond in those moments. Do you respond still as who your true identity, spiritual identity is, or do you respond from that place of fear? So as the things come to you, how are you responding? Are you responding with love? Knowing that love harmonizes, love attracts, love binds all things together? Or are you responding with fear? What's going to happen? How am I going to manage? Are you responding with hate? Are you responding with anger, with envy, with criticism, with judgment of yourself or of others? If the latter is your response, then that's not your true identity. You've stepped out of your true identity to identify with something else. When you meet those appearances of lack, where something seems to be missing, not enough resources, not enough whatever, not enough food, not enough health, not enough friends, not enough loved ones, not enough relationships, whatever it is, how are you meeting that appearance of lack? From the place that I am a child of God, and so all that I need is already provided for me. If God provides for the birds of the air, why wouldn't God provide for me? Am I staying in that place, or am I beginning to worry about where will the next meal come from? Where will the next bill come from? How will I meet this demand that is on me? When a demand comes, do I go back and say, God, you are my source. You are the source of my supply. Lead me, show me how this is to be done. When there's an appearance of ill health of any kind, is my first response to start worrying and fretting and saying, I wonder if, and go back to what runs in the family, or what does run in the family, or who had what, or who doesn't have what? Or do I realign my attention and my focus and I say, okay, God, you are perfect, whole, and complete. And so the real of me is perfect, whole, and complete. My body is made naturally to regenerate itself ever so often. And so I now become still and allow the healing power to move in, through, and as me. In those moments when we don't seem to be strong enough to pull through whatever is going on in life, am I calling forth on the strength of God? Or am I just quivering to everything that comes my way? That is the true test of your spiritual identity. That is when you know who you are. In those moments, just like Jesus had to know in those moments. Remember, in this period we call Lent is when we remember all the temptations Jesus had to withstand. Remember, Jesus was taken up onto the mountain and promised everything. I'll give you everything if you throw yourself down. Jesus said, no, you're not catching me that way. So Jesus had to remind himself consistently who he was with all the temptations. Now, you and I are tempted every day, tempted to step out of who we really are by suggestions from others. Sometimes you say people draw you out, meaning they have a way of triggering the negativity or pushing your buttons. And when they push those buttons, how will you respond? You and I have to develop this mechanism where our first response, what comes up first, is our true spiritual identity. And that's because in everything we go to God first. God is the guru that we go to first in everything. Something comes up, okay, God, what do you want me to do? Who do I talk to? Where do I turn? And you get a nudge, you get an instructions, go there. Okay, God, I got it. God, I reached there. What I must do now? Listen again. God said, go knock on the door. Okay, God, knock on the door. Okay, God, I knock. What next? And you are guided step by step if you would just listen before you run off. Try it, try it, try it, try it, try it. Try it. Try it tomorrow. Wake up in the morning and when you open your eyes, say, God, show me. Today I'm going to walk with you. Today, try it for yourself. Today I'm going to walk with you. Tell me, what do you want me to do now? You become still. God said, go brush your teeth. Maybe you get up and go and brush your teeth if that's what it is. But each step of the way, ask for guidance. Go to that guru. And God may direct you and say, speak to so-and-so or go to this place. Still, you're operating within the guidance of who you are. God is always instructing you. God is always leading you, guiding you wherever you must go. That's why the song says, I'll just say yes. You show the way. Because it is our responsibility to listen, to be guided to right action. And that is why we magnify the Lord. That is why we seek the Lord. That's why we seek the Lord so that we can be guided as to where we are supposed to go. What are you seeking? What are you seeking? Whatever is showing up, how you answer that? You can answer that easily, you know. Whatever is showing up in your life, that's what you have been seeking. So if love is showing up, you've been seeking love. If drama is showing up, you've been seeking drama. And how do you seek drama, Conroy? I never consciously said I want you to seek drama. You seek drama or whatever is showing up by virtue of the dominant thoughts that you've been entertaining. That's why it's important to keep your attention focused on God. Every moment of the day, magnify the Lord. Exalt God's name. God's nature. God's nature is absolute good. That's what we teach. Absolute good. And so everything that you're thinking of should be around absolute good. You ask yourself, is this for the highest good of all concerned? Well, no, it doesn't get my attention. Is this going to bless me? No, it doesn't get my attention. Will this bless others? If it does, it gets my attention. If it doesn't, it doesn't get my attention. Because the moment you start to step out of who you truly are and give your attention and energy to that which doesn't bless you or bless others, you have planted a seed that will bear fruit. And you must be willing to partake in that fruit once the fruit becomes available. And it will become available because you planted it. That is why the spirit of Lent is about looking at the seeds that you're planting and let's eliminate negative thinking. Let's eliminate the things that no longer serve us, and in the same breath, let's embrace new thoughts. Let's embrace new ideas, new concepts that bless us, that move us to where we want to go. That's what our task is. That's what we're inviting you to do. Psalm 32:8 reminds us, I will instruct you and teach you the way you should go. I will counsel you with my eye upon you. We have that promise. We have that promise. So will you listen? Will your heart and soul say yes? Will you magnify the Lord? Will you give God all of your attention? Will you seek first the kingdom, as Matthew tells us, and allow everything to be added unto you? Becomes the question. Because that is where the real health is. That is where the real wealth is. That's where the real happiness is. All the things and people that you're seeking for outside is really an urge, a desire for a greater expression with the power and presence of God. So as you go about today, just magnify the Lord. Let's magnify the Lord. Let's magnify the Lord. Let's exalt God's name forever. Let's glorify the Lord. Let's just magnify the Lord. Give God the glory. Give God the praise. Let's exalt God's name, God's nature. Exalt it together. Let's glorify the Lord. Yes. Just keep blessing, giving thanks. Magnify the Lord right where you are. Come on, magnify the Lord. Magnify the Lord. Exalt God's name. Call on the name and nature of God in every situation, right where you are. Glorify the Lord. Give God the glory, all the glory. You can't go wrong. Exalt God's name. Yes. And so right where you are, we're knowing that the power and presence of God goes before you. As you magnify, showing up in your life, in whatever form that you need it, in whatever form that is necessary to move you to that next place. The love of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you, and the presence of God is watching over you as it is watching over me. And know with me that this presence and power of God that is right here and right where you are is right there in Ukraine, is right there in Russia, is right there in anywhere where there seems to be conflict. And we just declare that enough people are holding to that power and presence of God through this time. Because wherever God is, we are. Wherever we are, God is. And all is well. Thank you so much for joining. Share this with somebody as you continue to magnify the Lord and exalt God's name. Share this blessing and just keep on saying a prayer for somebody else. Because as you pray, as you know the truth for someone else, you too are blessed. Your life is transformed, and the goodness of God follows you all the days of your life. You can dwell in the house of the Lord. And so it is.
With me. name.